Welcome to Flavor Revolution, the podcast where we celebrate food, flavor, and health-conscious cooking. I'm your host, Chef JG, and today we're turning up the heat on healthy eating by diving into a new way to season your favorite dishes. There's a brand out there shaking up the seasoning game, Stovetop Yum Yum. These blends promise big flavors with none of the usual suspects. No salt, no sugar, no gluten, just pure deliciousness. Joining me is a special guest who's been experimenting with these flavors at home. Welcome, it's great to have you.
Thank you, Chef JG. I'm so excited to talk about these seasonings. Honestly, they've completely transformed the way I approach cooking for my family and myself.
I love hearing that. When you want to eat healthy or have dietary restrictions, seasonings are often the biggest challenge. They're either bland or loaded with things you're trying to avoid. But Stovetop Yum Yum really flips the script. So let's start with the Holy Mango Caribbean blend. What was your first impression?
Right from the start, Holy Mango Caribbean had me hooked. I tried it on grilled chicken for our weekly family night, and let me tell you, it was a hit. The chicken was juicy and bursting with tangy tropical flavors with a gentle kick of heat. We all kept reaching for seconds. It really brought everyone together around the table.
That's so great. I've had the same experience with that one. It's clean eating, but you're not sacrificing excitement. You get that sense of indulgence, but with none of the guilt. Now, I know you tried their Biamo Italiano as well. How did that go over?
Biamo Italiano is just incredible. I'm a big fan of roasted vegetables, but they can get repetitive. I sprinkled this blend over a mix of zucchini, bell peppers, and tomatoes before roasting. Suddenly, my kitchen smelled like a little trattoria in Tuscany. The flavors were so layered, herby, slightly sweet, and fresh, all without a trace of added salt. My kids, who usually aren't big on veggies, asked for seconds.
Now that's saying something. When you win over the kids, you know you've got a winner. What I like is that the blends use clean, natural ingredients, but still manage to deliver strong, authentic flavors. No shortcuts here. I'm curious, did you venture into their spicier blends? Blazing gunpowder is not for the faint of heart.
I like a little adventure in my food. I used blazing gunpowder on baby back ribs. I was nervous it might be too spicy, but it was just right. Smoky, fiery, and there's even this subtle sweetness from the honey in the blend that mellows the heat. My friends honestly thought I'd marinated the ribs overnight or cooked them for hours. But all I did was rub on that blend and pop them in the oven. They were so impressed, but I had to confess it was all about the seasoning.
I love it. That's the beauty of these blends. They make you look like a professional chef without any of the fuss. What do you think makes these seasonings stand out compared to others on the shelf?
For me, it's the combination of health and convenience. I have allergies in my family, and we watch our salt intake. Usually that means giving up flavor or spending forever reading ingredient labels. But here, everything's clean, simple, and clearly labeled. And the versatility, I use the blends on everything. Breakfast eggs, lunchtime salads, even popcorn for movie night.
I think a lot of people believe salt and sugar are what make food taste good. But that's really not the case if you use high-quality, thoughtful ingredients. That brings us to the special blend, the one that started it all for Stovetop Yum Yum. How has that become part of your routine?
Oh, it's my secret weapon! I keep it right next to the stove. For eggs, stir-fries, even avocado toast, it's my all-purpose go-to. It adds depth without overpowering the dish. I even took it on a weekend camping trip, and everyone was asking me what the secret seasoning was.
That's exactly what I hear from everyone who tries it. So for our listeners who are looking to balance health and taste, what advice would you give based on your experience?
I'd say don't be afraid to experiment and look for seasonings that use real, whole ingredients. Once you try something like Stovetop Yum Yum, you'll realize how easy it is to make healthy food interesting again. Your meals can be both good for you and packed with flavor.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Stovetop Yum Yum is all about versatility, health, and delicious food without compromise. For all our listeners out there, remember you deserve flavor in every meal, no matter your dietary needs. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your real-world experiences. And to everyone tuning in, bring excitement back to your kitchen. I'm Chef JG, and you've been listening to Flavor Revolution. Until next time, keep cooking with love and flavor.